Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Meir Fatemi, and we had a packed slate of NBA games last night, starting with the Boston Celtics, of course, blowing another 20-point lead, going down 2-0, shockingly going down 2-0. Two games in Boston, dropping both of those, and the New York Knicks have taken a 2-0 lead now, going back to New York, have taken a commanding lead and have all the momentum. And the Boston Celtics, a team that a lot of people had possibly going to the NBA Finals, is now on the brink of elimination. Game 3 is a must-win game. Going down 3-0 is nobody's ever come back from 3-0, so if they lose on Saturday night, that'll be the end of the series, but for now, this is what we got. The New York Knicks taking care of the Boston Celtics, going up 2-0 last night. We'll recap all those games, talk a little bit about Jayson Tatum and how everything transpired the way it has in Boston as well as in New York. The other game, still a crazy game, do not get me wrong, just much less competitive, let's say. The Oklahoma City Thunder coming out, blowing the doors off of the Denver Nuggets right out of the get-go. Denver had no chance in this game. Just scoring the most points in NBA history in a half. Just overall, it was not close. From start to finish, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander having a phenomenal game. Jokic trying his best to will his team back into this game, but getting into foul trouble early and not being able to cap it off. We'll discuss everything about this game, how the Thunder were able to do this, and are the Oklahoma City Thunder officially the number one threat or the number one favorite to win the NBA championship. We'll discuss everything about that game as well as discuss what to expect moving forward in this series as it shifts gears back over to Denver, tied at one game apiece. From there, quickly, we'll talk a little bit about Steph Curry, his injury he sustained on Friday night or on Tuesday night. Give a little bit of an injury update on him. Preview the series preview game 2 between the T-Wolves and the Warriors later tonight as well. And then to close out the show, got to talk about my main man, Shaquille O'Neal. He's not my main man. He probably doesn't even know who I am. But Shaquille O'Neal coming out, agreeing to be the next general manager for Sacramento State's basketball program, bringing in new high-class recruits and beyond. It's a phenomenal achievement for Shaquille O'Neal. We know he's an ambassador for the game of basketball. He continues to grow the sport, continues to give back to the sport as they helped him grow into the sport. He's helping give back to the younger generation. And this is his next step. There have already been reports on some 5-star recruits transferring over to Sacramento now, so we'll discuss a little bit about that and see just what is this, how does this all shake out in the NCAA basketball field. So, packed show lined up for you guys today, and we'll get into everything. But before I move any further, I'd like to remind you guys to please like and follow the show for more GSMC Sports Network content. Also, we get a number of questions for viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on air, ask that you use the tips and donations link at gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so I see it, and it also really helps out the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net for all your questions and comments. But let's get right back into it here. It was the longest intro of all time. We had to deal with some technical difficulties, but now we're here. Top of the show, first segment. And as much as this hurts me, because I am a Celtics fan, we have to show the news. We got to tell the news as we saw it last night. We have to explain the facts to all the New York Knicks fans. First and foremost, congratulations to you guys. 2 massive wins. I know one of my best friends is a New York Knicks fan, and all I could do in the moment after the Celtics blew the lead, after Tatum fumbled that last possession of the game, I just looked over at him and I just said, congratulations, and I shook his hand. That is all we can do as Celtics fans right now. All we can do is, all right, we're all upset, we're all angry, we're all this is one of the most painful days of Celtics basketball that I could think of, because these were two games that the Celtics had in the palm of their hands. Two of them. Both of them 20-point leads going into the fourth quarter. Both of them going down to the last possession. OT going, the game one going to overtime. Game two, you had the ball in your hands as time expires. But let's break this down. Bro, I keep turning off these games thinking it's over and these teams keep coming back. I know, Andre, it's crazy. It's crazy. I did that in game one. I couldn't do that in game two against between the Celtics and Knicks. I did it in game one. I couldn't do it in game two. But if we're gonna look through this, we gotta look through it properly. Major props to Mikal Bridges, coming back and getting hot in that fourth quarter. Major props to Josh Hart. This team is reminding me of the 18 Rockets living in. We're gonna get to that because I've said this before. Actually, I'll just say it now. I'm so happy you said that. I won't forget. The Boston Celtics right now, this is the Joe Mazzulla. Tell me if I'm wrong, Andre, but the Joe Mazzulla system reminds me so much of the Mike D'Antoni system back in the day. We heard everybody talk about it. It's not that they don't shoot too many threes. They just said, oh, we're not shooting enough threes. We got to get more wing guys. We got to build the team around Jayson Tatum and Jalen Brown. Keep shooting threes. Just make it the best, highest percentage shot on the floor. They didn't learn from the Rockets back in the day. They didn't learn from Steph Curry in 2016. They didn't learn from Oklahoma City in 2015. And here we are. I've said this before many times. Joe Mazzulla reminds me so much of the Mike D'Antoni Houston Rockets. The team with Ime Udoka would be unstoppable. Yeah, I know, man. Like, 2022 was one of the best years, one of my favorite Celtics years, and seeing that team go from the grit, the grind that team had, the poise, going through adversity, like they were the ones coming back from leads, or coming back and coming back from leads. The other team was blowing leads. So now the script has just been flipped on us. But yeah, the X factor in this one was Karl-Anthony Towns. 21 points, 17 rebounds for Karl-Anthony Towns. And the reason for that is like I mentioned in the preview yesterday, it's about Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis, whether he's playing hurt, whether he's playing sick, I have no idea what's going on with Porzingis. We saw him in game one. He got pulled in the second half. Joe Mazzulla benched him. Even last night, he came off the bench. I've never seen Kristaps Porzingis come off the bench unless he's injured, unless he's sick. And he's playing like he is. He's playing like he's hobbled. Either he's hobbled or Karl-Anthony Towns is showing up like the second coming of Karl Malone and just giving him the business every time in the low post. Something I've never seen Karl-Anthony Towns do. Karl-Anthony Towns is one of those players, at least in my time of watching him, he's one of the... Do I really want... on a day that Karl-Anthony Towns does well, I don't really want to trash him, but Karl-Anthony Towns is known as a shooting big man. He's not the guy with his back against the basket, using his footwork, trying to get to the low post. We saw him have trouble with Jalen Duren against the Detroit Pistons. The reason he had success in games 3 and 4 is because he was using his shot. He was shooting the ball ridiculously. If you guys remember the shot behind the basket with 3 minutes to play in game 4, honestly, he did it 3 or 4 times, shooting it from 40 feet away, way beyond the 3-point arc with 3 minutes left to go in games. He did it in games 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is what Karl-Anthony Towns does. He's a shooting guy. He does not play with his back against the basket most of the time until now. For whatever reason, he's figured out how to do it now, and it's paying dividends out for this New York Knicks team. So, yeah, major props to Karl-Anthony Towns for him stepping up and playing at a high level. And yeah, the Knicks going on a 21-4 run in the fourth quarter. The Celtics not being able to score a basket for 6-7 minutes stretch. The New York Knicks with Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson not being able to miss a shot from 3-point range over that period, there was a lot to do with how the Knicks came back in this game. And I thought with how the Celtics were playing, every time they were demolishing the Knicks in this game. 2/3 of this game, up until midway through the third quarter, they were obliterating. It looked like this was going to be a 20, 25, 30-point win, like a casual one like we saw in the regular season from the Boston Celtics. And for the script to be flipped the way it has, the way New York has fought back in this series, and the way Jayson Tatum has crumbled in this series. And this is the last thing I want to say about this, because I don't know if there's going to be any time after I'm done talking about this. Jayson Tatum, over the last 2 fourth quarters combined, just listen to these stats for me. 6 points, 0 for 11 from the field, 0 for 9 from 3-point range. 2 fourth quarters combined. And you're supposed to be a superstar talent on an NBA team. This is the Jayson Tatum that has shown up in games 1 and game 2. This is the Jayson Tatum that for some reason has forgotten how to shoot the basketball when your team needs you most, when your team is blowing, when the other team is getting hot, gaining confidence, and you need a bucket. The Cavs have Donovan Mitchell. The Thunder have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Nuggets have Nikola Jokic. The Pacers have Tyrese Halliburton. The Knicks have Jalen Brunson. I think I said that. If we want to keep going down the list, I can. Every team has a closeout score. The teams that didn't have closeout score, even if you wanted to look at the Magic, they had Paolo. Even if you want to look at the Pistons, they had Cade Cunningham. Even if you want to look, maybe the team that didn't have that is the Houston Rockets. And where is the Houston Rockets right now? They're home. The Warriors sent them home in 7 games. The Knicks, this is the second round in the NBA playoffs. You had your warm-up round against the Orlando Magic. That Magic series was supposed to be a sweep, or at least 5 games. I think it did end in 5 games, actually. But still, this series should have ended. That series should have ended early. And regardless of what happened, you won it, whatever. But this is a Celtics team that is not playing well at all. And there are teams that have come back from 2-0 down, but 80% of teams that go up 2-0 win the series. It might be the stat might be higher than that, actually. 80% does not sound right. I don't know what the exact stat is, but dropping both of your games at home, going down 2-0, going back on the road to New York, you're an experienced championship level team. But come on, man. And one last thing before this segment has gone on so long already. But one last thing before I close out this segment, we have to discuss Joe Mazzulla at another time more extensively. If the Celtics lose this series, Joe Mazzulla is getting fired. Simple. Plain and simple. This was one of the weakest teams. This is one of the weakest 2 games I've seen in my time watching the Boston. I don't want to say this is the equivalent of 2024 when the Celtics were down 3-0 against the Miami Heat. Even then, Miami outplayed us in the first 3 games, but every game was close. It wasn't blowout. It wasn't blown leads. It wasn't choking. It wasn't this. This is pure choking, and this is something I've never seen from the Celtics team. This is something I never expected to see from a star-studded championship caliber Celtics team. And Joe Mazzulla, this is not the first time. Game 1, you had a timeout in your back pocket with 15 seconds to play. In overtime, you decide not to use it. You decide not to use it until there's 3 seconds left in the game. Once again, today or yesterday, you had 12 seconds left on the clock. Jalen Brunson makes 2 free throws. You have a timeout in your back pocket to advance the ball. Your team is struggling to score the basketball, to muster any offense. And you say, oh, no, they'll be fine. Push them out there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Your team is struggling to shoot, to score any offense, to get anything going offensively. You're sputtering. You have a timeout in your back pocket. You have an opportunity to draw a play up, get the ball into Jayson Tatum's hand in a clean and concise fashion, organized play. Instead, you get Jayson Tatum that dribbles the ball up with 12 seconds left, goes into an ISO situation, puts the ball into a corner, gets triple covered, and then the game is over. You don't even get an opportunity to score the basketball. There was a lot of things wrong with this game. That shot took me over the top with this team. But Joe Mazzulla, you are on the hot seat right now, my friend. If you do not clean this up, you better force a game 7, and that game 7 better come down to the last possession. Because if you blow another series lead, your job will be done by the end of this year. And I don't think you're coming back from this series if you blow another lead. The Knicks can win another game, and I already think if you're going to win, you're probably going to go 7. But, oh my God, last night drove me up a wall and parked me on the cliff's edge, because that was one of the worst roller coaster rides I don't ever want to be a part of ever again as a fan of a basketball team. That was the longest segment I've ever done on the show. I'm so sorry about that. With the technical difficulties, I decided to extend it a little bit longer. But I'm going to take a short break. Coming up next, I'm going to take a look at the Oklahoma City Thunder blowing out the Denver Nuggets in Oklahoma City. We're going to talk a little bit about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, what happened, how some broken records that the Oklahoma City Thunder did, breaking the halftime record with 87 points in the first half. And we'll discuss all about that game, recap the entire game. You're watching the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.